Today, I'm going to show you how to create a completely free WordPress website. If you're just starting your business, this is the best way to create a website if you have zero budget, but you still want to look professional. I'm sure you've heard of WordPress before, which is why you're watching this video, but if you don't already know, there's actually two different types of WordPress. WordPress.org is an open source software that you can take and install on any web host and customize completely. You have total freedom and ownership of your website. This is obviously great, but when you self-host your website, you have other necessary costs, and we're on a budget for this video. So we're going to use WordPress.com. WordPress.com handles the hosting. You don't have to buy a domain name, and you can get started completely for free. And the best part is when you're ready to upgrade to a self-hosted WordPress.org site in the future, it's very easy to do that. In this video, I'll walk you through how to do everything step by step. We'll sign up for WordPress.com together. We'll pick a theme that is the basic design of your website. We'll customize and edit your website. We'll create pages. We'll put content on those pages, and then we'll link those pages on your navigation menu. And then we'll publish your website and take it live. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is obviously sign up for WordPress.com. So go ahead and click my link in the description below, and you're going to come to a page that looks something like this. And then you're going to click that Get Started button. Next, you have to choose how you're going to create your account. I'm going to continue with email, put in my email address, and then click Continue. And now it's going to ask you to choose your domain name. So let me talk a little bit about domain names real quick. If you don't know, a domain name is the .com that you write into the address bar of your browser to go to your website. Domain names do cost money. So if you want to stick with completely and totally free for this tutorial, you don't want to buy your own domain name. But if you do have any budget, I would highly suggest buying a domain name because it's really valuable for your business. Now, if you want to invest in a domain name right now, you can buy it right here in WordPress.com, though I often recommend buying a domain name at a domain registrar separate from your hosting account. That's because if you ever decide to move your website to a different hosting account, it's way easier to do that. My recommended registrar is Pork Bun, and I have a video tutorial showing how to register a domain name with them, and I will link that in the description below. But if you don't want to buy a domain name, you don't want to spend any money at all, let's just keep going right here. So even though we're not doing a custom domain name, we do have to write something in the address bar to have people be able to get to your website, and this is where we pick that. It's just going to be attached to the WordPress.com domain name instead of using our own custom domain name for our business. So I'm just going to type something here. Let's try the food restaurant, see if that's available. And we can see here, like up top, this is where they're trying to sell us the custom domain names. And also down here, we have them trying to sell us the custom domain names. But this, if we're going free, this is the one that we want right here that says free. And as you can see here, they added an extra number to the name I picked. That's because the name I picked isn't available. Now I'm just going to select it for this tutorial, but obviously if this is for your business, you might want to be creative and find a name that hasn't been chosen already. But for now, I'm just going to click select. And then we're going to see right up here, the price is 0. And then we're going to click continue. And now we have hosting options. And obviously this video is all about free websites. So we are going to stick with that free plan, but feel free to take a peek at the other plans and see what other features are available if you do want to pay for them. But we are going to click this start with free button. Now the website's setting up. And instead of worrying about all this, we're just going to click skip to dashboard at the bottom. And now here we are at your WordPress dashboard. Before we get started actually building the website, let's go ahead and give it a name. So click here, give your site a name. For this tutorial, I'm going to use a fake business and I'm going to do a fake restaurant. So I'm going to just call this the food restaurant. And then I'm going to click save settings. And now that that's done, we can pick a theme. So go to Appearance and then go to Themes. Now, themes are the general look and feel of your website, but you can edit them and customize them specifically for your business branding after you pick one. And since we don't want to spend any money, we are going to, in this drop down right here, we are going to choose that we only want to see the free themes. And as you scroll through these themes, you're going to see that there's different themes made for different types of businesses. Like this is obviously for education, this is for a bakery. You scroll down and this is for sports. And it is very often very useful for you to pick a theme that is your industry, but it's not required. Like I said, we can make edits to this theme. So if you do have a bakery and you like this sports theme better, you can make it work. But I want to see if I can find a theme that is specifically for a restaurant and not a bakery. So I'm going to search this theme and I'm going to search for restaurant and something does come up. Well, many somethings come up. We've got a few options here. Now, I actually really like how Dyad looks, but that seems to be more for like a food blog. And I think Maywood might work better for a restaurant. It's nice and simple, and it should be really easy to work with also. So I'm going to go ahead and click into that. And then after I do, we're going to see more information about this theme. And I'm even more confident that this is going to be good for us. So then I'm going to click activate this design up here. And then it's going to confirm that we want to activate Maywood. And I'm going to click that button again to confirm. And then you can see it working here to activate the design. And then you should see something pop up here when it has been activated successfully. And we can click that view site link. And we can see that this is what your website looks like right now. Now, keep in mind that this site isn't published, so nobody's going to be able to see it as you're working on it if they went to your domain name, your website address. But of course, nobody has your website address. So we're good to just start building this website and not have to worry about anyone seeing an unfinished project. So go ahead and click this link that says My Home in the top left to go back to the dashboard. And let's customize this website by going to Appearance and then Customize. And this is where we can take this basic theme design of your site and then customize it so it matches with your business branding. So the first thing we can do is go to Site Identity. And this is where we can add in your logo. Now, if you don't have a logo, it's totally fine to start out with just putting your business name under site title and having that pop up in your header. If you do have a logo, you can click Select Logo and then either click this button to select your logo file, or you can just go ahead and drag it right in and then click Select in the lower right corner. If you need to crop it, you can crop it here. I don't have to, so I'm just going to click skip cropping. And there you go. Now you can see the logo right there. Since we do have a logo, we don't need the site title there. So we're going to uncheck display site title and tagline. And I also feel like this is a little big. So let's go to change logo. Select that logo again. Then choose edit image in the top right. And then we are going to click scale. And I'm going to set the new dimensions to have a width of 300 instead, and then click scale. And then we can hop back into the tab where we're customizing things, choose select, skip cropping, and then click save changes. If we still see this logo big, we can click refresh. And there you go. Now it's a more reasonable size. Next, let's click into colors and backgrounds. And now this is where you can change the colors of your theme to match your actual branding colors. Now this theme just so happens to match the colors of the fake logo I picked, but if it didn't, I would be able to just click into one of these colors and choose a new one here. And when you do that, you will see that it updates in the preview to the right. You can also pick your own color here. where you have total freedom. And if you know the hex numbers for your logo and your branding colors, you can put them here. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. But I am going to go ahead and put in the hex code for my logo. And I like having a red as an accent color here, but I want it to just be a little bit of a deeper red. And then when you're all done with that, go ahead and click Save Changes. And then close out of this to get back to your dashboard. Next, we're going to make edits to the pages that already exist. And then after we're done with that, I'm going to show you how to create new pages if you need them. So go ahead and click Pages in the left-hand menu here. And then we can go ahead and click into the home page to edit it. Now, this is what's called the block editor for WordPress, and how we edit and add content to this page is, you guessed it, through blocks. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. Personally, I like to have a page open on a separate tab while I'm building. So I'm going to click this icon up here to view the page in another tab. And then as we make changes, I'm going to come back here and refresh things just to make sure everything looks good on the actual website, because as you can tell, things look a little different in the block editor. So first things first, you probably don't want this random picture here. You probably want a picture of your food at your restaurant. So click into this section and make sure you're clicking into the actual section and not the words or the button or the section that holds the words, because those are their own blocks. You want to click into the section that holds the image. Now, of course, if you're working on another theme, this might look a little different, but the process of editing blocks is the same no matter what theme you're using. So this is still going to be useful and helpful to you. So to replace this image with your own picture, go ahead and click Replace up here. Then click Open Media Library. And from here, you can go ahead and use a photo you already uploaded, or you can drag a new one of your food right in here and then click Insert on the bottom right. Now, this is a good picture, but as you can tell, we can't really see the writing on top of it anymore. So we're going to pop into the block settings on the right-hand side, and we are going to click into the Styles tab. And then we're going to add a color overlay to this image. Well, there's actually already a color overlay there, but we're going to make it a little darker. So we're going to click in there first, and I'm going to change the color of the overlay to match with that color of my logo that I picked earlier. And then I'm going to bring up the opacity of that. So now this text is easier to read. Actually, I'm going to bring that down just a little bit more. I think that looks a little nicer. Next, let's change some of our text. So you can click into here to change your text, and you can just go ahead and type right in there. Obviously, you don't want to use the super generic text in the theme that comes with the theme. So you can make changes here if you are having issues writing your own website content, because I know, like, we're not supposed to know how to do everything super well. And if you're a business owner, you might not also be a writer. I'm not a writer. So there are lots of AI tools available to you that could help you out now, which is definitely fun and useful and helpful way that technology has advanced. Remember, AI isn't perfect. So if you do use an AI tool, you will have to make sure to edit it and make sure it doesn't sound dumb or wrong. I personally use ChatGPT a lot for content, and I did record a tutorial showing how I use that, so I will link that below. In addition to changing what the words say, you can also change how the words look by selecting it and then going over to the block settings for the headings on the right-hand side. And then you can click those three dots and then go to font. And then you can choose a different font that you like better for your website here. And you've got a lot of different options, and you can see what the fonts look like a little bit from their preview. I'm going to pick Albert Sands, and then I'm going to click these three dots again. and I'm going to go to letter case, and I'm going to put that as uppercase. So everything is in all caps and kind of matches with the logo. And actually, let me see if there is a thinner font that looks a little bit more like the logo. Maybe that one. Or actually, let's do this one. So yeah, I really like how that looks. So with the free plan with WordPress.com, we don't have as many font options as other plans, including that we don't have access to global font styles. So what I'm doing is I have a notepad open and I am putting the name of the font so I can remember for headlines. And I'm also going to put that I want it uppercase. And that way, as we're working on the site, I remember what font I use to make sure everything looks the same. So you see, I have a little notepad on the side that looks like that. Of course, you can also just write this on a piece of paper with a pen. So now that that looks good, let's go ahead and change the body font also. I'm just going to change the font here. I'm not going to make the body font uppercase because that's going to be hard to read. And let's just kind of see which font looks nice with that one that already is there for our header. And I'm actually going to choose Montserrat. Where is it? Which is a super, super common web font. And that's because it's very easy to read. And it's nice and simple and pairs well with a lot of other fonts. Then I am going to click into this button here. And now if you wanted to make changes to where the button link goes, you could just click this pencil icon to edit the link. But I already like that it's going to the menu, so we're going to keep that as is. If you wanted to change what the button says, you could do that, though I feel like view our menu makes the most sense there also. And then if you wanted to make style changes to this button, you would just click into the style tab and make changes here. Like if you wanted to change the background and make that maybe a color that stands out more, you could do that. I'd also like my typography to match my headline font. So I'm going to look in my notes and I am going to make sure that matches. And now we've got the button styled. So like I said, we can go ahead and click save here. And then we can come back to the other tab we had opened and we can click refresh. And we can see our changes on the new site, so we can see exactly how they're going to look on the live website. So now let's go back and finish editing the rest of the page. Now, I don't want to make this tutorial a million hours long and just say the same repetitive stuff that is just too much and annoying and stressful. So you can just go through here and make changes the way that I made changes for the header. A few things that I want you to know that I haven't told you already. To add a new block, if you wanted to add something new, you would just hover over in between any other blocks, click the add block button, and then you have a bunch of other options that come up here. So if you wanted to add a heading, you could add that here. And if you wanted to add a picture, you could add that here, and then you could just select an image and you could pick one from your media library, and or you can drag a new one in if you wanted to, like we did before, and then you would have the image. You can click the three dots and delete any of these blocks if you change your mind. And you can also, if there's already pictures here, you can click into them and then click replace if you want to replace them. So I'm going to go through and edit the rest of this page now, but I am going to stop and come back to the contact form here because that one's a little special. So I do want to go over that with you. Okay, so I've got the rest of this page updated with the fonts and the colors. And you should have done the same and also probably updated your images because, you know, you want stuff that matches with your business. And then I also put it on another tab and refreshed. And note that I do notice that these fonts didn't update. So again, with the free version of WordPress, it's great because it's free, but there are some restrictions. So it looks like it's possible that I picked a theme with some font restrictions. So that's possibly why my fonts aren't showing up correct here. But for a free website, this is good enough. But we do need a contact form for sure, and that is included on the free plans. So we can see that's actually already included with this theme as well. So let's pop back into the block editor. Now, if you don't have a form in your theme, you can add one by adding a form block just like this. And then you can pick one of these form options here. And there you go. Now you have that form block. I'm going to go ahead and edit the actual form that is already included on this theme. So to delete this one, this is important too. So I'm going to show you guys how to select the actual form block. So if we just click here, this is just the field. We're just selecting the field to edit, and you can see that down here. You see how this changes depending on what's being clicked. If we want to edit the form, we need to click form, and then from here we can delete this form. The same way for this form that already exists, if we click into it, we're editing each specific block. But if we want to edit the full form, we can click into form. And now from here, we can change the settings to show where the form goes. So that's really the most important thing, is you want to make sure under email connection, it has your email right there. And then under email subject line, this is going to be what the subject line is when the email comes to you. And since it's so important that your clients are able to contact you from your website, it's important that you double check and test this after you make your site live. You can also click into any of these fields and change them if you'd like. You can set if the field is going to be required or not. If you scroll down and you have a field that has options like this, you can click in and edit these specifically right there. Very easy. You can also add in new fields by going in between one of these existing fields and picking one from the block list. Oh, also, I didn't say this earlier, but it might be helpful to you. If you are adding a block and what you need is not here, you can either search for it or you can click this Browse All button, and all of the block options are going to come up in the sidebar right here. But let's close out of that and get back to this form. And when you're done with this and you're sure everything looks the way you want it to look, you can go ahead and click Save. And then when we refresh the actual page on the other tab, we're going to see that the new field is right there. And we are also going to see that how we edited the dropdown is also there. Now, if your theme has any other pages, you're going to want to edit them to match just like you did the home page. So click into My Home and then click into Pages, and you would want to go through these and edit these. Now, for this specific theme, it doesn't have any other pages. It just has sample pages. So we don't have to worry about that, except the fact that this theme doesn't have any other pages, but also has links to a menu page, is a problem that needs to be fixed. So to make a new page, we would click Add New Page. And we could start from scratch with a blank page, but we also have options for predefined layouts. And to keep things easy, let's just go ahead and click into the menu section for the available menu pages. And this will work. So let's just go ahead and select that. And now we have a menu page. We're just going to change this to actually just say menu. And then you would just edit this page just like we edited all the other pages. Obviously, you'd want to put pictures of actual food instead of these rocks, I think they are, and put the food items. If you're a restaurant, the food items here. If you're not a restaurant, if you're providing services or selling products, this might be a good idea to make a page about your services or about your products instead. When you're done with that, click Publish, and then click Publish again. And now let's go back and let's go ahead and edit the home page and make sure that all of these links that are going to the menu page that didn't exist are going to the actual menu page. So we're going to click into this button and we're going to actually, let's just click this link. It does go to the menu page. Since we called it menu, that was already there. It is there. If that link isn't working automatically for you, you can click edit link and then you can search for the name of the page you just made and then select it and then it'll work. When you're done making sure all your links work, let's click save. Okay, now that we've got the pages done, I want to show you guys how to make blog posts. So go ahead and click the WordPress logo in the top left corner of the page to go back to your WordPress admin backend. And now we're still on our pages thing here, so you guys can see the pages. And I want to talk a little bit about the difference between posts and pages. So pages are the more permanent and static parts of your website. This in general is going to be information that doesn't change or doesn't change often, like your about information, your contact information, or the information about your products and services. Posts, on the other hand, are more dynamic, time-based, and can be organized into categories and tags. That's better for more things like obviously blog posts or articles, stuff like that. Those posts are displayed on a page. That's why we have a page that says blog here. So if we click into this, we have a sample blog post right here, and this is where all your other blog posts would end up. So let's go ahead and click back into my home. And then I will show you if we click posts on the left-hand menu, we see that sample post right there, and then we can click the add new post button. And then we can give a title, a test title, and a test, just writing test in the content. Again, this is the block editor, so you can add blocks just like you did for the pages. But what you can do here that you can't do with pages is you can go into the post and you can categorize these. Like you could click into here and click add a new category and name the category and then click add new category button. And that way you can organize your posts into topics. When you're done with that, click the publish button and then you can click publish again. And then we can click view post to see what the actual post is going to look like. So there it is. And then if we click back into my home and we click back into pages and then we click into blog, you are going to see that new test blog on this page too. So we just had to go into the WordPress backend to find this blog post page, but we're going to want our users to be able to easily browse all our pages on the website, of course. So we're going to need to set up a navigation menu, which you're going to have to do as long as you're using a theme that isn't a one-page theme. So let's click back into My Home, and then we can go to Appearance, Menus, and we're going to name this menu Main Navigation. And then we're going to set the display location as primary. So each theme puts their menus in different locations. Usually the primary menu is on the top of the site in the header, so I'm going to assume that that's the case with this theme also, and then I'm going to click Create Menu. And then now we can add pages to this menu. I'm going to click View All, and I am going to put all of these pages on the menu. So I'm going to select everything or press select all and then click the add to menu button. And then after you get the pages on your menu, you can drag them around to change the order, and you can even drag certain menu items under other menu items to make a drop down. I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to click Save Menu. And then I'm going to hover over my site name on the top left and then click View Site. And yep, exactly. It gave us the menu. The primary menu is in the header towards the top of the site. And then from here, you can click into all the pages you have on your site that you added to the menu. And that's it. Your website is basically all done. So before and after we publish the site, what we want to do is test it. So I would go through your entire website, click around and make sure everything works, and just check all your links and read everything and make sure there's no typos or anything that sounds funky. And when you're all done with that, you can click the launch site button in the top. And again, it's trying to sell you to choose a domain here, but we're doing free. So you can scroll all the way down and click skip purchase. And again, it's asking us if we want to pay for a hosting plan, but we are going free. So click free, click the keep this plan button. Let it set up. And then now we can click that view site button. And there we go. Your website is live. You can tell this because you can see the beginning of the address in your address bar is the domain name you picked when you signed up. Now, after your site is live, this is when you're going to want to test your contact forms. So make sure you go to every contact form on your site. We have one on the home page and we also have one on the contact page, and make sure these are going to the email address you want them to go to. And when you get the emails, you recognize what they look like. And if you want an easy way to copy your WordPress.com domain name, you can hover over your website name in the top left, go to dashboard, click into your site name, also on the top left, and your website address is going to be right here. So you can just click that copy button and then you can share it very easily. And that's it. You just created a free WordPress website for your business. If I was helpful to you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to check my description for a download to my 9-step website roadmap to get your site live from start to finish. Thank you so much for watching.